The bank did it again, raised their costs. Transactions take ages and cross-border transfers are riddled with regulations and hidden costs. Isn't there a better way of doing it? An increasing number of people are raising this question. Cryptocurrency, best known for Bitcoin, is attempting to offer a solution. But what does it offer? It's anonymous, quick or quicker than online transactions, operates on basically incorruptible software called blockchain. It's regulated by users and not the bank or government, and up to now, not taxed. Here in Windsor, Ontario, 3 different entrepreneurs specialize in the 3 different components of cryptocurrency. All 3 got into the space because of their frustration with the banking system, but mostly they've entered the $700 billion industry, hoping their respective efforts will unearth a digital gold mine. Kevin Roy, a builder by trade, mines cryptocurrency as a hobby.
Well, mining is working for a reward. You want to plug in as much hashing power as you have, send it towards a coin, and you get compensated in that currency.
Ian France markets and sells a coin called Currency, created for a developing online shopping platform.
For a coin to truly be successful in a currency, it needs users, usability, and a purpose.
Joshua Ndolo, a University of Windsor economics graduate, launched the company Amani. They use the open source technology that underpins all cryptocurrencies called blockchain.
We allow for cross-border transactions between 2 parties, and it's very economical. It costs about $3 when a bank would take $80. It takes you about a day when a bank would take 3 to 4 business days.
Dr. Muharrem Kanyev, University of Windsor Associate Professor of Law, has his reservations about the sudden rise of this trending, unregulated private currency.
What advantages does a cryptocurrency offer an ordinary consumer, and what value proposition does it provide an ordinary consumer that an existing fiat or national currency does not have?
Similar questions were asked of disruptive and mostly unregulated innovations such as Airbnb and Uber, taking a combined bite of almost $1 trillion out of their respective legacy industries. Will cryptocurrencies do the same to the banking system? Cryptocurrency is not the first private currency, and there's a reason why they vanished.
Why did government get into the currency producing business in the first place? Government didn't get into this business because they wanted to get into this business or curb freedoms. They had to get into this business because there was too much economic uncertainty involved with private currencies in the past.
If it bothers you, paying 40 cents for a cup of coffee in the morning and $4 that same afternoon, advocates for cryptocurrency won't just say you're getting it wrong. They'll say you're just not getting it. Let's take a step back. Where does cryptocurrency come from and how does it work? We'll use Bitcoin as an example. A number of Bitcoins were released by the maker. As the coins are traded, the transactions are encrypted onto a ledger. The process of encryption is performed by miners, whose computers solve these encryption problems called hashes. The computer that solves the transaction block first is rewarded for its efforts with a predetermined amount of Bitcoin. The transaction blocks on Bitcoin take a minimum of 10 minutes to solve. To create a fake one, you'll need to start right from the beginning. It can never catch up to the one everyone agrees is the right one. Roy grew a profitable mining operation. The equipment he bought online with digital currency with proceeds from mining.
Yeah, well, I just mine whatever's most profitable at the time. There's a calculator online. Basically, it tells me what's most profitable like at that moment.
He's been averaging around $1,200 per month. Roughly 25% goes towards electricity.
As long as I've been in it, it's profitable. You can make 10 times the profit one day, and then a month later, you're making a tenth. It's pretty much a game of throw the most hardware and money at it and you get a return.
It was essentially designed to serve the interests of vendors.
Roy doesn't agree with Kanyev that it's all a vendor-centric model with little or no value to the average customer. But then Roy isn't the average customer.
So if I want to go out for dinner, I can go on a site called coincards.ca and buy a gift card for just about anywhere in Canada with crypto. Restaurants, Home Depot, bookstores. Bitcoin only has value because people decide it has value.
No one understands this better than entrepreneur Ian France.
Now it's just a matter of being able to implement a day-to-day currency that people can use. There's 1,500 coins that are sitting out there, and I would venture to say that 1,400 plus are crap.
The iPro network sells incentivized investor packages ranging from $100 to $6,000. Half of the value of your investment is given back to you in the form of pro-currency. Investors are educated on how to open online storefronts where the pro-currency is slowly introduced in the form of a rebate system.
They've combined this currency with the education to teach people to open their own stores, accept the coin as well, along with all the major retailers. So they've developed this ecosystem to keep people there utilizing the coin.
The coin's success relies on mass buy-in. France realizes that for this to happen, he needs to forsake some of his libertarian leanings.
I believe that some sort of centralization, some form of regulations will benefit the actual overall digital currency industry.
In the long term, the problem that might arise in a scenario where online storefronts only accept pro-currency is monopolization, where the store is the bank, is the user's online wallet and exchange.
Are we simply exchanging one set of intermediaries with another?
All cryptocurrencies are trying to become more consumer-centric. A central characteristic of technological development, however, is its unpredictability.
There's a development of blockchain technology which is something quite apart from the cryptocurrency aspect. And I think that is what is going to have more staying power in the long run.
The potential of this digital innovation was embraced by Joshua Ndolo, a Kenyan national who came to the University of Windsor on an athletics scholarship to study economics.
There was no easy way of transferring money to and from Africa. So I said, why not just try and build an app by myself with my friends? And that led to Amani.
Clients have jumped at the chance of doing cheap blockchain-supported transactions on their platform. Ndolo acknowledges that cryptocurrencies are currently a speculative and dangerous trend.
Because if you have so many people buying into this trend, buying into this craze, you inflate the price, and that could lead to a lot of misfortune. For someone in the Western world who's lived in an environment where the financial system actually works and is functional, but not see the necessity for a new way of doing finance.
It might very well be a marginalized economy that paves the way towards global adoption of cryptocurrencies.
So I think you'll have a lot of countries that have been left back due to their access to financial instruments. It could be a mass movement. It could be an economy that adopts it and does really well, and others look up to it and say, well, they're doing really well over there. Why don't we adopt it over here so that we can keep up or learn from them?
Kanyev is concerned about the absence of consumer protections. If a vendor refuses to reverse a transaction,
I can call my credit card company, they can reverse the transaction, they can help protect my interests. If I'm buying something with cryptocurrency, I'm essentially sending cash in the mail. And I don't necessarily know who I'm doing business with.
But to Ndolo, that's exactly the purpose of peer-to-peer self-regulation.
So anybody who's unethical, anybody who's immoral performing transactions will all be able to spot you and maybe stop doing business with you. Until now, the banks had been doing that. They would check who was fraudulent, they would check all this stuff, but now they don't need to. We can do it for ourselves.
The anonymity and absence of a central regulator are what make investing and using cryptocurrency attractive. It's not impossible that this libertarian utopia can come crashing down in the wink of an eye.
If this becomes more widespread, and if this looks like that it's going to be a vehicle for tax evasion or excessive tax avoidance, then governments will become involved.
The nature of the internet and blockchain is open source and self-regulated, instantaneously evolving sharing platforms. Their very existence is completely dependent on an inclusive and active participatory user community. Out of these reciprocal interactions, a consensus is reached on the value of cryptocurrency. Despite looming legislation and extreme fluctuations in the value of cryptocurrency, there is money to be made, whether mining, trading, or buying shares in cryptocurrency businesses.